The technique used to fillet a sea bream is the same technique you would use to fillet any round fish. These guys are good to start with because they're normally quite small and easier to handle. We're going to start with the fish facing left on our cutting board with its belly towards us. We're going to draw our knife in and around the gills and make a cut from the top to the bottom of the head, being careful not to cut on the other side. Then, from the top of the head to the tail and right along the spine, we're going to carve a straight line. What we're essentially going to do is carve an outline around the fish that we can then use as a reference for removing the fillets with ease. You can retrace your incision to make it a little bit deeper, making sure that your knife is pressed against the bones. Now we're going to flip the fish with its tail pointing left on your cutting board, and we're going to do the same type of incision on the lower spine, from the middle of the fish down to the tail. Again, you can repeat the incision to make it a little deeper. You're going to now flip the fish so that the head is pointing left again on the cutting board, but this time its belly is facing away from you. We're going to do the same kind of incision on the belly part of the spine, just like we've done on the other side. Now flip the fish over so that the tail is pointing left on the cutting board and its belly is facing towards you. And again, just like we did on the first side, we're going to make an incision from the top of the head down to the tail, right along the spine. And lastly, to section off the fillet, we're going to make a cut from the bottom in and around the gills all the way to the top of the head. Now it's time to go back and use the references we've made to start removing the fillets. Cut away the bottom end of the tail that is attaching the flesh to the body. Flip your knife over and in a slow but confident motion, bring the knife towards you, detaching the fillet. Now it's time to repeat the process on the other side. Flip the fish over so that the head is facing left and the belly is facing towards you. Now that you've removed both fillets, take a look at your carcass. If when you hold it up against the light you can see through it, you've done a great job by not leaving any flesh behind. The next step is to remove the belly cage. It's near the top part of your fish and it's surrounded with bones. You can just trace along it and detach completely. In small fish like this, there isn't any substantial meat underneath. To remove the pin bones, you're going to need some tweezers and a small container with water. Work your way down slowly from the top of the fish to the middle section, using your index finger to feel where the pin bones are and gently pull them out. To remove the skin, make a small incision down by the tail end, between the flesh and the skin, and gently slide your knife all the way up. You can create some tension by gently pulling the skin with your non-dominant hand. This will help your knife slide a bit easier. You can keep your fillets whole if you have plans to sear them or maybe throw them on the grill. Perhaps bread them and deep fry them. But if you're preparing a dish like ceviche, you're going to want to break them down a little more. To do this, cut the fish from north to south into 2 even pieces. And then cut about 1-inch portions. Really what you're looking for is to form cubes. So depending on the size of your fish, use your eye as reference to make nice little cubes. Once you're comfortable filleting a sea bream, as mentioned before, this is the same technique for any round fish. Next, you could possibly try a branzino or a European sea bass, and then maybe move up to a little bit larger fish like a red snapper or something similar.